Hello Internet, Jesus loves you. My name is Cody and this is the Christian News Show we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with geeksundergrace.com. And I did have one thing before we start today's show. I do not know if we will have a Friday video or not, but regardless, I will not be in it. But that being said, whoever takes my place for the day will probably have a better face than mine, so you win. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the Yeezus Bible, because it is a thing. If you really want to, you could buy it on Etsy. It is not put on by Kanye West himself, though I wish it was, because that would be great. Basically, it is just the book of Genesis. But everywhere they can, they have replaced the word God with Kanye. And people are so mad. I saw quite a few people saying, why don't you do that to the Quran, see how Muslims take it? Though mini rant here, we need to stop doing that. We are not Muslims. There's a video going viral right now about a guy going to different Muslim bakeries and asking them if they will make a gay cake. And of course they say no. And Christians are all like, see, they said no, but yeah. You are not a Muslim, you are a Christian. I don't know how to break it to you, but this is a religion about love. Jesus went and sat with the minorities and ate with them. You can bake them a cake. Rant over, back to the book of Yeezus. It is stupid, we can move on. Going on from that, I think we need to talk about some good news because we don't ever get to do that really. First one coming out of Marshallton, Iowa. 20 churches in the town have decided they're gonna get together, they're gonna raise some money to get some Bibles, and they're going to give a Bible to every single household in the entire town. Which, it is not a huge town, but that is 12,000 homes they will be going to, which you may or may not know is a lot of work. And in even better good news, researchers have found a way to make a pacemaker for unborn babies. See, in the past, they've been able to diagnose congenital heart blocks in unborn babies, but there isn't much you can do. They've tried taking a pacemaker and just maybe taking like a piece of it and putting that in the unborn baby, but having the rest of it kind of external outside of the mother, but that usually fails. And what's kind of crazy to me is that this is something that 1 in 10,000 babies actually has. So it's gonna save the lives of a lot of little ones. Next up, we talked a little bit about Islam in the beginning of the video. Well, according to a new study, by 2050, there will be about as many Muslims as there are Christians. And according to that same study, there will be less Christians in the United States than there are now. Which I do understand. When you are killing off your competition, it is easy to catch up. And I do want to say with a comment that harsh that it is true, but I do realize that not all Muslims are the Middle East. Not all Germans were Nazis. And the other side of that is Christians declining in the United States, which we've talked about before. But I think my opinion stays the same on it though. And that is that I find it to be a good thing. Obviously, we want as many Christians as possible, but there are a lot of people that are Christian because culturally, that is what you do. I definitely prefer Christians who have consciously decided I am going to be a Christian and I'm going to live my life accordingly. I think that is a lot better than a bunch of people going, I'm a Christian because my mom and dad say I'm a Christian and I'm gonna live my life normal regardless. And our final story of the day is a geological discovery. The guy's name is Shimron. I'm probably saying that wrong. Links in the description below because I'm gonna try to make a long story short, so if you want to read more information, right down there. But basically, he's found an ossuary or a tomb that has an inscription. And the inscription says a few things, one being Jesus, son of Joseph, also that his wife is Mary, and then he's buried with his kid, Judah. And there's a bunch of findings on this. It's the right location, right time period, things like that. And so what Shimron is saying is that Jesus was buried and that he never actually rose from the dead. And a lot of people are dismissing it as it's a very commonplace name, Joseph and Jesus. It may be all really coincidental, but it's not impossible for that to have happened. For me, I don't think that is the case, but I do see a very big issue with this. First off, it isn't said whether or not the person that is in the ossuary was crucified. That is historically recorded, so he has to be crucified, right? Also, 20% of these things were inscripted. Jesus was poor. He probably wasn't going to have one inscripted in the first place. But let's ignore for a second all the problems of the idea that maybe he wasn't crucified and he died, and the people that were following him made him one of these. They all brought their money together and got him an inscripted ossuary. You wouldn't do that because he was supposed to be dead. What makes the most sense to me, and atheists listening are going to blow a gasket because this is not logical, I suppose. So let me clarify, as someone who believes that Jesus did resurrect, what makes the most sense to me is that this is probably a random tomb of bodies, and some people who are Jewish that did not believe in Jesus rising from the dead, and they thought the whole thing was stupid and that it was ruining everything, put the inscription on the casket, said, see, this is where he's buried. It's not real. Don't believe it. Because again, he was enemy number one to the Romans and the Jews, so they were going to do it out of kindness. And the Christians weren't going to do it because it completely ruins their entire conspiracy, which, if this was the case, is what Christianity would be. I've already talked way too much on this, but if he didn't resurrect, then he'd be in the tomb that they left him in, or he would be somewhere where nobody could find him, so the Christians could say that he rose from the dead. I obviously had a lot to say on it, but what do you guys think about this whole tomb thing? Some people are not bothered by it at all. I just don't think that it makes sense. I want to know what you guys have to say, though. So please leave a comment in the comment section below with your answer. Check out geeksunddergrace.com. My name is Cody Armour, bringing Christian news in a not-so-boring kind of way every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And closing, let the haters hate, let the Christians pray. And to everybody, like, subscribe. I will see you later, and God bless.